This is Between the Lines. Today, we dissect the road less traveled.
Hello friends, how are you? We continue with the road less traveled, and now we have section 2, love, finally. Yes, and just a little note, I have here this ticket. I don't know if you can see it, it's a Komodo dragon. When I was in Indonesia, because this book traveled with me all through Asia. Anyways, so we are with love now, and I really like this topic because I think we have so many misconceptions about love and what love is and what isn't. Okay, so we are now in the section 2 of the book, which is called Love. We will be mentioning some things about discipline that we learned before, but now we will concentrate on this chapter, which is chapter 15, Love Defined. And I remember when I was reading this book for the first time, thinking that, wow, but everybody knows what love is, right? Maybe you have a definition for love, and maybe I had another definition for love. And really, there are so many misconceptions about what love is, and this book is really, really extensive on that. So this whole section is about love. And first of all, the Dr. Peck starts by defining what is love from his perspective, from his practice, and everything. But before we come to the definition, I would like to talk about again, discipline, just to mention it. We were talking so much about discipline, how discipline is helping us to cope with problems and also help us to problem solve in order to cope with the suffering that we have through this process. And the thing going under behind all of this growth that we go through when we have our suffering and our learning through those times is love. So the fuel that we have is love in that situation. And what is love? Again, you may have a definition for love in your life. Maybe you don't know, or you don't have a definition for that. And so the doctor here says that really love is super complex and difficult to explain and to get to a specific definition is because it's too large. And we have different categories of love that have gone through humanity, mostly from the Greek side. Love has been defined as philia, which is friendship or some kind of, we could say, brotherly affection. It's like friendship, we could say. Also, we had storge, which is like an instinctual love between parents and children. And then we have, for example, eros, which is the sensual love and passionate love. We have philautia also, which is self-love, and sometimes it's like derived into narcissistic self-love and egotistical kind of behavior. But in the main conception, not necessarily. Anyways, and also we have agape, for example, which is like God, the gods or the goddesses love towards humanity and vice versa. So it's like this kind of relationship. We could say also charity, compassion, this kind of love. And the doctor also mentions sometimes we talk about perfect love, imperfect love, and there are so many categories on the topic. So it depends on where you are standing and how much you want to go into love and this topic. You could talk about these categories, you could have your very own definition, but the doctor says, okay, I will give you just one definition from my practice, from what I observe in my patients and myself. And so this could be he says like a theological definition, because it serves a purpose, the purpose of this book, which is spiritual growth or mental growth, and also mental health and improvement, basically. So the definition he gives is the will to extend one's self for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. So he mentions this spiritual growth that we mentioned even also in the past and the first chapters, because everything here is for you to grow your mind palace, basically. So he talks about that love being that thing that helps us grow ourselves and also help others grow. You may be asking why it is important for you to define what love is, because you can say maybe just with my definition or non-definition at the present, I'm okay. But again, from the purposes of improving yourself and becoming a better evolved person, we could say, the doctor mentions 5 things that this love that he speaks about has. And this is why it's important to understand and to learn about love, and also take out the misconceptions of love. So I will mention these 5 things. The first thing is just the one we were talking before. You may know what love is, but maybe you don't really what is. Because Dr. Peck observed that his patients were confused about the nature of love. And he remembers in the book about a patient saying, my mother loved me so much that I couldn't get myself on the bus until I was 18 years old. So she kept company to me to school, and every bus I took, she was with me. And even though I begged for her to not take me to school, for example, she would always do that because she loved me. But the doctor says that is not real love. That's something that could be, we mistake things for love. And actually that is not exactly love. That could be out of his mother fear, could be also from insecurity and other things, but that was not love, because she didn't let him grow in that aspect of life. She didn't help him take care of himself, for example, riding a bus, right? Riding a bus to school. So I think it's really important to understand what love is or isn't. And the second thing is that love is a circular process. And this is because when we love ourselves and we love each other, then we grow. And then this is what we've been talking about also. You are getting to grow, you get out of your comfort zone, and then you become your next version of yourself, we could say. And so it goes and goes and goes, and it's a circular process. So you are always growing if you allow it to, right? And the third thing is that because love includes your self-love. If you don't love yourself, as everybody says, you won't be able to love others. And the doctor explains here that this loving yourself is the same as loving others. And it could also get a little religious here, like if, for example, if you're a Catholic or from a Judeo-Christian perspective, they say that you have to love yourself and you have to love others like you love yourselves. And that is exactly the case. Not to forget about loving yourself and just giving too much to everyone and seemingly loving others more than you is not also balanced, right? We talk about balance. And the fourth thing that the doctor mentioned is that love is effortful. So you have to put effort in order to get off your comfort zone, as we said before, and that implies an extra mile, walking an extra mile, doing some extra thing for you in order to grow. And make a parenthesis here because I think it was some month ago, I heard Dr. K, which is another doctor I sometimes mention. I think I heard him like some 2 or 3 months ago talking about this topic about love and loving your partner and your parents and everyone in your family. But I think it was mostly focused on relationships. And he mentions at one time that, for example, for a couple, you have to give 60 and your partner has to give also 60 and expect 40. He said you have to give 60 and maybe expect 40 from the other part. And so everyone is giving 60% to the relationship. It's not that we are just giving 50 and 50 like everybody says. And I found that really interesting, so I think it may apply here, that we have to go the extra mile in order for relationships to go better, we could say. Not only maybe couple relationships, but maybe in other cases too. And sometimes that's kind of difficult to measure, but if you know you're just giving a little thing more, that is the right balance, we could say, because the other one is also giving you a little more. And also, as you can see, it's not giving 100% to the other person, because giving 100% would leave you with nothing. So you have to give just a little bit more, but not everything, right? That's important to note. And finally, Dr. Peck says that love is an act of will, and you have to have enough will in order to act upon that will, to actively take action on your love. And also you have the opportunity to choose. You can choose, okay, in this situation I will give my love or not. So it's really important that. But this will that you have, it doesn't have to sit only on intention, because you can say, oh, I would love to do that thing, or I want to do that thing, or I would want to become more disciplined in order to love my parents or my partner or whoever it is a little more and be more understanding in that. But it's just the intention of doing so and not taking action. And this not taking action is actually not love. So love should be the willingness to do that, the intention, taking action, and then also knowing that you can choose to do that or not do that. So I hope this is clear enough for this chapter, and we will continue to love and to talk more about love. And please do comment if you like this chapter, if there is something you agree or disagree with regarding this or the definition of the doctor. And see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.
Stay tuned for Ulua's next episode.